welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Chelsea, and if you're new around here, would like to do beauty related content on this channel. If that's something that you like, then please hit subscribe, and if you're already subscribed, then please click on the little bell and you'll be notified of every time that I upload. So in today's video, we've got a cool toned New Year's Eve glam kind of look. The main palettes that I've gone for are the Colourpop Stone Cold Fox palette, beautiful cool toned palettes, and then the main palette of choice is the Natasha Denona Glam palette. So this is a beautiful palette, and it's the first time I'm properly using it. I've also gone for the P. Louise Prime and Define Glitter Base in the shade You're Glowing for my lid. So yeah, if you want to see how I created this cool toned New Year's Eve glam, then please stay tuned. So we've already done one eye off camera, and as you can see, it's very cool toned, very New Year's Eve, and yeah, I really like it actually. I'm just gonna go ahead and start on this eye. I'm just gonna take my cheap brush that I got from eBay just to pat in the base because it's starting to crease a bit where it's been a while since I put it on. And then I'm also going to pop a bit of the P. Louise Rumour Zero base. So this is like the white base. And I want to pop a little bit just under my brow bone. So just a little wincy tiny bit like that on my hand. And I'm just taking a P. Louise Acid Rain brush. Now I've already carved out my brows with the normal base, but I want to add this white on top because I want to pop. Just like that bit there, I want it to pop. So it looks crazy now, but once it's all blended in, it will look fine. So I'm just going to pat it in a bit. So it's already like we've got our underbrow highlight. And then using the Colourpop Stone Cold Fox palette, I'm just going to take Dreamful, which is this white shade here. It's got like a matte shade, but it's got a little bit of glitter. So I think that's called the sequin shade. So I'm just going to wipe off my brush and then set it. So we are first of all going to take a small Peach and Cream PC22 brush, which is a small bullet blending brush. And we're going to go in with the darkest shade from the Glam palette, so Lash Line here. I like the fact that they've named the shade with what they're used for, but we're going to go into Lash Line. Just going to first create our shape on the outer edge. So I'm going to keep going back into the shade and then just create my usual C shape on the outer edge. And I'm just pressing it on to start off with. I'm also going to take a little bit on the lower lash line as well, just on the outer edge. And next I'm just going to wipe my brush on my leggings, and then I'm just going to blend it out a little bit around the edge so we're ready for our next shade. So has anybody got any plans for New Year's Eve? We was going to go out, but I think we're just going to go to Connor's parents now because I just don't want to, one, spend a lot of money, and two, I'm just trying to avoid catching COVID. So it's blended out a bit, so that's fine. So next we're going to take a P. Louise brush. This is a 115 brush from the Worldy collection, and it is one of my favourite blending brushes. But we're next going to go into the shade Crease. So that shade there, it's quite a cool toned browny shade. And we're just going to blend it out, nothing too precise. And also take it along your lid as well and blend out, there's no harsh edges. It's blended really, really nicely. And then with another P. Louise brush, this is from the Council's collection, and this is 121 brush, which is a large fluffy brush, and it's a bit dirty. And we're going to go into Transition, so this light shade here from the palette. So I'm just going to pop this on the outer edge, just make sure everything's blended, and also just a little bit on the lid. Now we're just going to go through with our three brushes and just go down the ladder effect, like what I usually do. Go back into the medium shade, go back into the lighter shade, back into the medium, to the dark, to the medium, to the light. So now what we're going to do is go back into the Stone Cold Fox palette and back into that Dreamful shade, so you know that white shade there, with a Spectrum B07 brush. And I'm just going to really lighten this inner corner. Right, next step, which I do find a little bit hard to work with, and I haven't really seen a lot of people speak about this, but this is the P. Louise Prime and Define, like the glitter bases. So yeah, she usually does there's 4 shades, which I've got all of them, but I've never actually used them before because I just didn't know how to use them. And to be honest, I did struggle a little bit on this eye, so we're going to give it another go. And I'm just going to pop a bit on the back of my hand. So this one is in the shade You're Glowing, which is like the silvery toned one, but it has got like a hint of gold in it, which I actually quite like. And I found it worked better when you use your finger rather than the brush, because it didn't really pick up properly on the brush. So I've just put a bit on my hand, so that's what it looks like. It's quite a thick consistency, so I've got quite a lot on my finger, so I'm just going to pat in the areas that I want, and then I'll diffuse it with the brush. We're going to top a little bit anyway with an eyeshadow, but this is sort of like the base for it. That's what it's looking like. It doesn't come out as opaque as what it does like on your hand once you start applying it. But I'm just going to use a Peaches PC36 brush, which is like a flat, fluffy brush, and I'm just going to diffuse the edges a bit. You want to work quickly because when it dries down, it does not budge. And I'll just use a little bit more. Yeah, like that. So it becomes like a really nice base. Like, you could leave it like that, but I do like a little bit of extra sparkle. So I am going to go into the Natasha Denona Glam palette, and I'm going to go into Inner Corner, so this shade here. It does get messy, this glitter thing. I've got glitter everywhere. I'm just going to pat it on with the same brush. Just to sort of like, I don't think it needs setting, but it's just for an extra dimension. And I'm also going to go with centre eyelid, but this one here, because there's 2 centre eyelids in this palette, with my finger and just pat here, so it transitions a little bit into the matte shade. But yeah, I've literally got glitter everywhere. Once you figure out how to use it though, it's actually a very nice product. Right, so let me just clean up underneath here before it properly dries, because otherwise it will not budge. And I'm also going to go back into Inner Corner and just pat that on here. Okay, so like that. So now I'm just going to go ahead and just really roughly line with the NYX Epic ink liner. I find this is a very messy liner, because then I'll top it with the P. Louise Fresh Ink Feed Black paint. So just popped a bit on the back of my hand, and I'm using the P. Louise cancelled brush in 125, which is a very, very, very fine angled liner brush. Is that my door? No. I'm just stamping it along. Hold your breath a bit. Now we're going to go back into the Stone Cold Fox palette, and we're going to go into the black shade, what was it, Rock Bottom, so this jet black shade here. I'm just going to take a P. Louise 124 brush, a very small brush, and we're just going to pat it on the very outer edge and just blend it in a bit into the grey, so there's no harsh lines. And also mix into the lash line from the Natasha Denona palette. And then we're also going to pop the black base in my waterline. I'm just going to smudge it in a bit. Okay, so that's it for the eyes. What I'm just going to do is pop on some mascara, my lashes, do the rest of my face, and then we'll be right back so you can see the final look. And ta-da! This is the final look. I'm absolutely in love with it. I don't know why I don't do cool tones more often. So just for reference, on my lips, I've got my favourite combo, and if you saw my favourites from November, you would have seen that this combo. So it is the Peaches and Cream Hotline Lip Liner, which is like a dark brown, the Doll Beauty Nude Lipstick in Come to Mama, and the Jeffree Star Supreme Gloss in the shade Naked in the Dark. So yeah, all-time favourite beigey nude combination. And then for lashes, I use the Unicorn Cosmetics Wicked Lashes, because they just give an extra bit of flavour, the way that they're so long and wispy, but they just make your eyes look so pretty. Oh, just love it. So yeah, so this is my finished look. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure you give it a big thumbs up, and also don't forget to hit subscribe to my channel. Let me know what your plans are for New Year's Eve. Are you going out? Are you staying in? Will you be doing a look like this, whether you're going out or staying in? But yes, so I hope you have a fun night and a safe night, whatever you do, and thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I shall see you in the next one.